Hi, this piece, The Threat is Still Here, is, as you can see by looking at it, it's based upon an old illustration from a kid's fairy tale book. It's actually based on the fairy tale Little Miss Moffat, and so you have her eating from the bowl, and hanging above her, just by a thread, is what is stylized to be an atomic bomb. And the title, The Threat is Still Here, is based on the fact that even though the Cold War is over and the two superpowers aren't that are as ideologically opposed to each other, the threat of nuclear war is still here. There is still the form of mutually assured destruction involved, and there's also the fact of the chance of non-superpowers who have nuclear weapons of using them against each other. It's actually been hypothesized that the threat of nuclear war is actually higher now than it was during the Cold War, which is of course a very scary prospect. And it's so this piece is deliberately black and white, as it's bleak as a potential for a future, and hanging by a thread can also be tie into the story of the Sword of Damocles, where destruction can just be even if it's just in that case it was the whole just about one leader, but here the destruction of all or most or many can be hanging by a thread. Also, another connection for that, there was a film about nuclear war in the 1980s which I saw as part of an English project. In fact, it's the only film to have ever given me nightmares, and this is a film called Threads. And basically the theme behind the title of that and the beginning film of a spider weaving its web was the fact that society hangs basically on a thread, and it would not take too much to completely destabilize and ruin it. And in this case, a nuclear exchange certainly would. There would be other things that could completely destabilize society. We are very reliant now for our power on our power grids. On a lot of things are automated, so it wouldn't take much for some kind of assault to cause total catastrophe with society. So that's basically what most of that piece about. It's just I've obviously highlighted on the whole aspect of nuclear war because it's been an obsession of mine ever since the 80s, because I grew up I was a child in the 80s during the Cold War, so that has affected my outlook quite a lot, and it's also caused that's why it's a subject of a lot of pieces of artwork of mine. So let me know what you think of this, and see if there are any other pieces you'd like for me to highlight in my collage of the week. Please let me know in the comments. I'd be very happy to talk about any of my pieces. You can find a lot of them on some of my socials, like my Instagram, my TikTok, and so forth. All the links to all of those can be found in my link tree, which will be in the description, as will my Threads link and my Patreon account, which you can help me out with, and also the link to the book of my collage artwork. This piece isn't, I don't believe, it's in that book. I think I came up with it after I released it. I mean, I am planning on putting together a big a nice fancy a hardback book. So the book that's all out right now is it's an inexpensive trade paperback, but I'd like to put out a nice hardback with maybe a slip sheet, something that's really nice to have on your table, or even just in your bookcase. So So I hope you have a good day and keep collaging. Thank you.